It's your girl Shavonda, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another vlog. It is like 6 o'clock right now. I'm about to go in the kitchen and make 2 hamburgers. And I think I might have to make some french fries as well. And then a new movie dropped on Amazon Prime called, it got the word devil in it. It's something of that. I know Lana Condor is in it. I know the girl who, the recent movie that just came out with, was it Margot Robbie? Or was it the other girl that looked like her? Whichever one of them. It was Ready or Not 2. She played the sister. She's in the movie with Lana Condor. And the guy who played Jeremiah in The Summer I Turned Pretty. Them three are in the movie. It's like 2 other people, but I don't know who they are. So I can't tell y'all their names or what shows they was in. But I'm going to prepare the burgers and the french fries. And then for me and my mother. And then we're going to watch the movie. And I'm going to review it. But I also need to tell y'all about that show that I started watching yesterday called Furious. The first 3 episodes came out. It was good. I had a theory. I don't know if I put the theory in the last vlog that I dropped yesterday. I don't remember. But let me get to washing these dishes and preparing dinner. See you guys later. Okay, y'all. So I just started on hamburger number 1. So we use the adobo seasoning, the Goya adobo, and then some black pepper. I'm thinking, do you want me to put a little bit of garlic seasoning? Huh? Okay, I'm gonna put that on mine. I like to season my food. And when I was younger, I was more so of a, what is it? Is it savory? Savory is like the salty side, right? Probably, I don't know. She not answering. I used to pour a little seasoning into my hand. Not a lot, a little bit. And eat the seasoning out of my hand. I used to do that when I was younger. It's a lot of things I used to do. A lot of different food combinations that I used to do. Especially like if it was like on holidays in middle school. And we pulled all-nighters. You know, what they say? Vamp life? Yeah. Yeah. I used to be up at night eating Fruity Pebbles. I used to be eating Fruity Pebbles cereal with a whole bunch of chocolate syrup in it. And then one time I tried the apple, it was the apple cinnamon applesauce. And I used to put the Fruity Pebbles inside the apple cinnamon applesauce. That was another combination that I used to eat. And then what made me even start eating the Fruity Pebbles with the chocolate syrup is my favorite cereal ever is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I would eat cereal, different flavors, but number 1 top cereal for me is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I used to put the chocolate syrup on the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah, but look, we got the hamburger. You see it? Let me zoom in. Wait, how you zoom in again? You see it? I don't know. I forgot. That's the first burger. So, yeah. Ooh, we gotta turn that down. Oh, that's up. Yeah, we gotta go with that one. Ooh. We gotta let it get crispy a little bit. Ooh, look at the juice. Nice and juicy. Ooh! That popped me. Let me see. And it's still frozen, so it's like, ooh. I don't know how long this is gonna take. But I need to put some seasoning on that side. Don't make it too soft in there. You gotta make sure it's not. Ooh. Alright. And my sister is not here. She just left out to go to this event called R&B Wednesdays with her friend. So it's just me and my mother eating burgers and fries. I'm gonna put the fries on last because the side of the stove that I'm using the air fryer gotta go on that side, and I ain't want the I don't like the pot on the other side of the stove. I don't like that because I like to be on this side. I like to be away. I don't like to get popped because if it pop me, I'ma fight it. Fight what? The stove? Yeah, I'ma fight the stove. See, this is the air fryer we got. It's on its last leg. You can make anything in there. Cabbage, collard greens. We be frying the chicken, air fried chicken. Put some flour on it, and then put it in the air fryer with some oil and a little chicken bouillon. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, look at that burger. Ooh wee. I hope it ain't too salty. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Nice and brown. I gotta flip it back over a couple more. That's what it actually says on the box, to keep flipping it over back and forth. Yeah. Alright. Woo! Shit. No, people in their cars is driving past with the window down playing their music. They're not playing music in the park. They playing tennis in the park though. But the people are driving past, you know, with their windows down, playing their music. I can smell it. It's nice and crispy. It's like, but how do you know when it's like completely? I mean, yo, the last time I made burgers with the hamburger meat, had to make them, like, shape them myself. I made this big ass burger by accident, and my sister called it a Mondo burger. A Mondo burger. All right, somebody mother is on live. Gotta go. Okay, so I didn't show y'all the finished product of the food, but just know we ate it, and also we didn't get to watch the movie. The name of the movie is called The Devil's Mouth. Yeah, we didn't get to watch the movie. It wasn't fully uploaded on MovieBox World, which is where I watch all the new shows and movies that come out. So I don't have to pay for nothing to watch it. But because it came out today, it's not going to immediately be up there. Maybe like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe. I'm telling you right now, once I check back again later on in the night, and it's up there, I'm watching it. So yesterday I watched this show called I Will Find You. Harlan Coben, I love his shows. They always come out on Netflix. There was one that came out on Amazon Prime called Lazarus. It was the guy who played Finn in Catching Fire, Hunger Games. They called, yeah, Finnegan, yeah, that's what his name is called. Sam Claflin is his real name. But yeah, he was in that, and that was good. What was I talking about? Well, I Will Find You. That show pissed me off. I think that might have been the only show of that man's that pissed me off like that. Pissed me clean the fuck off. Because you're telling me everybody knew this man was a good person. They knew he didn't have not one violent bone in his body, but they immediately knew that he murdered his son. Like, they didn't have no faith in him. Even his own dad believed he murdered his son. And the thing is, his dad and his dad's best friend, the warden who told his dad that he was going to keep his eye on him, make sure he was safe. But if you believed that he would murder his son, why would you even tell his dad that you're going to keep an eye on him? So that means y'all already knew that he didn't do nothing, but y'all just let him sit in him. The lady lied on the stand and said that she saw him burying the bat, which wasn't true. It was David's goddamn dad and the warden who buried the fucking bat. And then it's like they altered the DNA of the blood that was on the bat to make it seem as if it was David. Obviously the bat was in his house, so clearly his fingerprints was going to be in it, but the blood wasn't Matthew's. It never was Matthew's. But the thing is, y'all didn't get a second, third, or fourth opinion. Y'all just went with the first thing that came. If I was David, I was getting custody of that son and cutting everybody else out of my life because y'all really sat there and believed that I had harmed my son, and y'all knew for a fact that I didn't do it. Y'all just let me sit in there. That's stupid to me. Really, really, really freaking stupid. And especially the ex-wife. Like, you know your husband, and you just went with the facts of him. Like, there was no evidence besides the thing that was on the back. Because her ass was out having a drink with somebody else. Another man. And she, like, come on, girl. But yeah, I finished that show yesterday. Yesterday I also watched this show called Furious. With the girl who played Fiona in Shameless. She's an FBI agent, but before that she was NYPD. And her partner also was NYPD. And they was together since high school. And he used to beat her up, and he beat her up one point. Like, she didn't even what you call it. What she never even reported him. She just went and became an FBI agent and stuff. And then he randomly came out of nowhere and had this had this little memory, like, oh my gosh, I really did do that to her. Like, he never knew that he put his hands on her because he was always drunk. And guess what he did? In the same moment of apologizing to her, he turns around and asks her for a favor. For her to see if she can go visit his mom because his mom is sick. And she always was like a daughter to his mother. And then she goes to visit his mom. The mother starts giving this whole speech. Then all of a sudden it turns into, you need to call his lieutenant and make it right. And go back and recant everything you said about him because you are the reason why he was acting like that in the first place. Excuse me? Like, it was a setup. He never came there to apologize to her. He came there because he wanted her to call the lieutenant and say something. Say he's better. I forgive him. When ultimately it showed that he was still the exact narcissist he always was. Because he's supposed to be sober, following her out to her car, which his mother just verbally attacked her. And then he's defending his mom, saying she's just emotional because of what she got going on. And then in the same instance, asking her to call the lieutenant. Then following her to her car and getting angry because she don't want to call the lieutenant. I'm glad she took that weapon out and flashed it, because get the fuck back. I said, step back. Step back. And now, because it was only 3 episodes that, that went by. It was only 3 episodes that came out. Right? I feel like right after when that 4th episode pick up, he gonna have went back and said something, and everybody gonna be looking at her weird as if she came crawling back to him, because I bet you he gonna be like, well, she came back to me. And the man, his name is Jack Lacey. Jake Lacey. His name is Jake Lacey. It's like he always play a bad character. When he's in movies, he's okay. But I swear to God, every single time it's a show, like a psychological thriller, he's always playing a bad person. In the other show that came out on Peacock, it was called All Her Fault, was Sarah Snook. It literally was his fault. A car crash. The baby that Sarah was pregnant with, his wife, passed away. And then in the other car, this other girl had a baby. He took that baby and pretended as if it was their baby. And that girl was like, she always knew that was her son, and she went and got him back. So all of the shit is going on because you took somebody else's baby and pretended that it was ours. And then you gotta say it's all her fault. He always seemed to be playing some bad fucking person. But, you know, once he play a bad person, and every single time he come on the show and I don't like him, I just know he's doing a good job. Just like the guy in Greenleaf who played, what was his name? Uncle Mac. Every single time I see him, I just can't even detach the person from the character, because he played that shit well and I don't like him. Even if it's in a happy ass movie. He was in Christmas movies. And I still ain't like that man. I'm like, I don't like you. And Charles from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Ooh. And the other guy, Blair Underwood. Medea's Big Happy Family Reunion, when he was beating on his wife, fiance, and she took that grits and she poured that shit all over him. Yeah. But I gotta find what the hell? Why you was over here? But I gotta find something to do. I'm just sitting here talking to the camera. But it's cool. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Hey y'all, so it's the next day, obviously. The time right now is 1:13. It is Thursday, July 30th. I'm eating me some ramen noodles, and I took all the socks and stuff out of the drawer so I could put together the matching ones, and then whatever is left over, throw them shits in the garbage. Look at this picture of my grandmother that I found. Grandma, I miss you. But yeah, let me go ahead and eat my noodles and then finish what I'm doing. I will come back later. Okay, y'all, so I'm back. It is now 5:58. I was about to say 6:58, but I'm back, and I went and got my little cousin. He's out there with my mom, and I have this book right here. I showed y'all this before. I got this from school. There's like this little resource room where they have textbooks that nobody used, or that they bought them and put them there, or old textbooks from way back when the classes changed. And this is the casebook for the DSM-5, Diagnosis and Treatment Planning. So every chapter is like tells you the different cases. From chapter 1 is like the neurodevelopmental disorders, and then chapter 2 is schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders, bipolar related disorders. Well, the one that I just said was chapter 3. Chapter 4 is depressive disorders. Chapter 5, anxiety disorders. Chapter 6 is obsessive compulsive related disorders. And the only reason why, well, I need to read it anyway because I need to already know and get these type of case studies in my head, so that when I do find me the right job and someone comes to me, for help, and they tell me, and I ask them questions, and I write down, they write down everything plus the additional questions that I may ask. I need to know exactly which category they fall under, like which, I don't want to say, like whatever disorder they fall under, right? So the first one I read, the case of Annalise. No, I think I read Case of Julia. I think it was. Hold on. Was this Julia? Yeah, I read the Case of Julia, and I already knew she had ADHD. So I want to read, it's like even the neurodevelopmental disorders. It's not just it's autism in there, ADHD. You got to read it and find the right ones, and then you get to a certain paragraph, and it finally tells you the diagnosis. So I wanted to read chapter 2, Case of Tim. So that's page 13. Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna read. I need my glasses. Where is my glasses? I'm gonna read it. It says schizophrenia is a chronic, severe mental disorder that affects the way a person thinks, acts, expresses emotions, perceives reality, and relates to others. While uncommon as compared to other mental disorders, it is often the most chronic and disabling. This chapter contains 3 cases of schizophrenia spectrum disorder and other psychotic disorders, including delusional disorder of 2 types. These cases highlight disorders that cause various degrees of distress and dysfunction in 3 adult males. And then questions for considerations are included. So, Case of Tim. Introduction. Tim is a 32-year-old male, 32 32-year-old married male father of 2 children ages 8 and 5. Tim is a software program developer who works freelance for large institutions. He owns and operates his own software development company and is a subcontractor who basically works alone. Tim married his high school sweetheart after he finished college. I don't know why that's doing that. Like my sinuses is not clear. They bought a home and started their family. Currently, he is estranged from his wife and she has filed for divorce. Prior to this, from the outside, his life looked like the typical American dream. About a year ago, Tim had developed a software program for universities and met with the leadership of a university that was interested in buying his program. The deal would have been a breakthrough for Tim because the university has several branches and affiliates that will also use the software, and it would have opened up the possibility of other deals with other universities. However, the university was not interested after his presentation at the meeting, and the deal fell through. After this incident, Tim's symptoms surfaced. The current functioning. Tim began demonstrating paranoid symptomatology. He became and continues to be suspicious of others and believes people are out to get him. He believes the university is trying to steal his ideas and his software. He states that, paranoia. University has bugged his home, his phone, and his computer. He believes that the university is trying to destroy his business and his credibility and has bribed his family members and friends into trying to make him look crazy. He reports that the university is sending him encrypted messages through the closed captioning on a TV and is trying to take pictures and videos of him through his phone and computer. I ain't even gonna lie, right now, well, I haven't seen this lady's TikTok in a minute, but it was some guys from Texas hacking her phone. Yeah, paranoia. Okay. Closed caption on the TV and is trying to take pictures and videos of him through his phone and computer. He refuses to share what the messages were stating. I will be killed if I tell you. Tim denies hearing voices or seeing things that other people do not see. His effect is appropriate. He reports that he enjoys playing with his children and that he coaches his 8-year-old son's little league team. After Tim signed an authorization for release of information, Tim's mother reported that he had difficulty interacting with others for most of his life. His career choice was a good one for him because he could work independently. After Tim became suspicious, he refused to work on the computer and closed down his business. He is now having difficulty securing gainful employment and has not worked in several months. His home is in foreclosure. Although he reports that his wife, friends, and family have repeatedly assured him they are not trying to sabotage his business, Tim states that because of his suspiciousness, his wife eventually became exasperated and moved out, taking the children with her. At that point in time, Tim's symptoms became worse because the only thing that was keeping him sane was being around his wife and kids. But because of the symptoms that he's showing and how it's probably overtaking, his wife can't handle it, and she thinks it's the best decision if she take the kids and leave. And because he don't have that one little piece in the house that was keeping him sane, yeah, now it's gonna get worse. He states that he began stalking her because he wants to see her and his children and that he misses being with them. After one incident when Tim unexpectedly showed up at her house to see the children, his estranged wife became fearful and demanded that he should either immediately seek treatment or she would contact the police. Arrangements were made for him to be admitted to an inpatient psychiatric hospital. Upon release from the hospital, he moved in with his mother. He still holds on to the delusion but is able to manage his symptoms and function better. Although not at his previous baseline, he reports feeling sad because he lost his business, his wife, and his children, and his friends. Although he holds firm to his delusion, he states he is hopeful that he can rebuild his relationship with his children and secure employment. That's unfortunate. So the diagnostic impressions is many times functioning in daily life at work is disputed by persistent delusion and paranoia. Tim's diagnosis is a delusional disorder. Persecutory type. He demonstrates symptoms that warrant the delusional disorder diagnosis, such as believing the university was sending encrypted messages through the closed captioning on the TV and trying to take pictures and videos of him through his computer and phone. In Tim's diagnosis of delusional disorder, the delusions are mostly non-bizarre, meaning these are things that could happen in real life. Being deceived or conspired against, having ideas and software stolen. However, what makes them delusions is the lack of evidence to support the validity of the beliefs. Family members and friends are caring and supportive and will not sabotage Tim's business or intentionally hurt his well-being. There is a fine line between schizophrenia and Tim's diagnosis. He does not meet the criteria for schizophrenia because he denies experiencing hallucinations. In addition, his affect is appropriate, speech is coherent and logical, and thought processes are organized. Apart from behavior associated directly with the delusions, his behavior is unremarkable. And although decoding messages through closed captions can be considered symptomatic of schizophrenia, his symptoms match more closely to a delusional disorder. And so the diagnostic conclusions: delusional disorder for secretary type, disruption of family by separation or divorce, other problems related to employment, and then the suggested therapeutic interventions. Most time delusions are fixed and clients are quite resistant to letting them go. Challenging the delusions or trying to disapprove them might make the client distrustful of the counselor and may instigate a power struggle. This inevitably damages the therapeutic relationship and client might not return, which means they will not get the treatment they need. Although mental health professionals do not need to validate the delusion, they do need to validate the client's experience and feelings. Clients need to be able to function around the delusions. Helpful treatment includes assisting clients to developing coping skills, decision-making skills, and problem-solving strategies. In addition, behavior modification is beneficial. For example, Tim will use William Glasser's wise choice process model when he is thinking about deciding, such as going to see his children unannounced for an unscheduled visit. In addition, Tim will call his estranged wife each time before he goes to her house to pick up his children for his scheduled visits. He is focusing on his strengths and is streamlining his resume. And then, for your consideration, could Tim have had a predisposition that was exacerbated by the rejection from the university? How could mental health professionals determine this? The second question is, medication is regularly, prescribed for people diagnosed with mental health disorders. What would the advantages and disadvantages be for prescribing medication for people diagnosed with a delusional disorder? The third question is, what advantages and disadvantages would group therapy have for people diagnosed with delusional disorders for secretary type? I think for the last question, what makes sense to me, if everybody in group therapy was diagnosed with the same thing and they shared everything that happened by step 1, 2, and 3, maybe somebody else in the group would be like, well, then that don't make no sense. Like, they would sit with each other and realize what was going on wasn't real. Like, they would be able to hold each other accountable and be like, well, you wasn't able to prove anything, so how do you know that they was really after you? Like, they would have been able to go back and realize, oh, I see what other people were saying when my friends and family were trying to help me. I see what they were saying. They're asking me for proof. Meanwhile, I'm saying, if I show you, they're going to hurt me. But then it's like, if you feel like they are going to hurt you, wouldn't you want to show proof? Did I say that right? That's what I think in my head would happen in a group therapy session with everybody who was diagnosed with delusional disorder. That's what I think. What happened? New original series. But I just wanted to come up here and read that one thing to y'all. And it's like once you diagnose somebody, you gotta start doing the treatment plan stuff. And like I told y'all, when I went to the interview, the lady asked me if I've ever done a treatment plan or ever had to deal with a crisis situation. No. So I'm trying to read these cases, read the diagnosis, the interventions that was used, medicine that was, well, it don't say the medicine that was prescribed. But I'm trying to get myself used to these things so that it won't be like, oh my God, I've never done one of these before, I need help. Yeah. So that was delusional disorder, which is, because remember it said schizophrenia and other psychotic disorders. So delusional disorder. I wonder if that's what's going on with my uncle. I haven't heard nothing. We haven't heard nothing about what's going on. What was it? May? I don't know. You know how people go out into the world, and you know, not even go out into the world. Some people like to smoke, and some people lace whenever they distribute the weed or whatever it is that other people like to smoke. They sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they'll take other drugs and lace it into the weed, and sometimes people will overdose. And we never knew if he was laced or if he got to a certain age and certain symptoms have been showcasing. And unfortunately, my uncle tried to take his life. He tried to take his life. He's in the hospital, I think 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and then at first refusing to take the medicine, but then realizing that in order for him to get out, he needed to take the medicine. Took the medicine, came home, decided when he came home that he wasn't taking the medicine no more, and the thing happened all over again. So it's like, interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna read the case of Jeremy, not on camera, but I just wanted to read that one little case study so y'all can see what it say. This is gonna be the end of this vlog right here. I'll talk to y'all later. Not talk to y'all later, but in the next vlog. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click that bell notification so every single time I drop a video, you'll be notified. Peace out.